Hi, welcome to CGL Research and Consultancy, your hub for all things data analysis, research, and statistics. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our insightful tutorials. Let's get started. Today, we're exploring live tables. But what exactly is live table? A live table is a statistical tool used primarily in survivor analysis. It provides detailed insights into the time until an event occurs, such as failure of a machine, relapse in medical research, or even death in demographic studies. Live tables summarize data on survival probabilities, hazard rates, and cumulative survival rates over specific intervals. This tool is particularly valuable in medical, social, and actuarial sciences. So, quickly, we are going to see how we can run this. We can create a live table in R. So here in R, I have my data. First, we load the library dplyr. If you have not installed this package, kindly do so, then load it. Then after which we load our data using the read.csv. So my data is located on my desktop titled live_table_data. So I would control enter for it to load here in R. Alright, so my data is saved on my environment. So we're having 500 observations and 4 variables. So let us use the head function to see how our data is looking like. So for our data, we have age, we have ID, we have age at entry, that is age individuals entered the study. We have duration. So duration, we're having 5-3. So for the purpose of this tutorial, our duration is from 1 to 10. So events observed. So we're having various events observed, 1 and 0. So 1 is that yes, the event occurred, probably the event of death occurred, and 0, no occurrence of events. So that is the data we're having and using for this tutorial. So the next is to sort the data by duration. Okay, so we are going to use the arrange here, the arrange function. So this arrange function is from dplyr, dplyr, the one we loaded earlier, and it is going to help us to sort our data sets by duration and in ascending order, ensuring our time-based calculations are sequential. So after inputting this code, we run it. So now the next step is to define time intervals from 1 to 10. So under our duration, we're having intervals 1 to 10. So we're just defining it here using the data.frame here. So it is going to create a new data frame, live table, and where we are having a time column containing values from 1 to 10, representing the time intervals for this. So after which we control enter, then we go to the next step. The next step is to calculate the number of patients at risk at each time. So this is the code we would be using for that. So for each time interval, the number of patients whose duration is greater or equal to the time is calculated, representing those still at risk at the time. So this is what this code is going to help us to do. So now we control enter this, then we go to step 4 to calculate the number of events, which is death, at each time. So we're going to use the code to do that. And here we're going to have the censored column count. So this is going to help us to count the individuals who were censored or who so for the censored here, we this particular code here is going to help us count individuals who were censored, that is, did not experience the event at each time interval. So we are representing that as 0. So for this, for the step 4, I think the step 4, I jumped to the step 4 and went to step 5. So step 4 here, we're going to calculate the number of events, deaths at each time interval. For step 5, we are calculating the number of censored individuals at each time interval. So for the code here, we are going to obtain the death column, and it is going to, this code here is going to help us to calculate the number of patients who experienced the event. All right, so remember, for our event underscore observed, 1 means yes, the individual of the events occurred. Then for the censored here, 0 here means the event did not occur here. That's for step 5. So this code will enable us to have the censored columns for that. Now we go further to calculate the survival probability. The survival probability here is calculated as the proportion of patients who survive, that is, did not experience the event within each time interval. So then after which we go to step 7, calculate the cumulative survival probability. So the cumulative survival probability here, we're going to use this code here to do that. So basically what this do is to, the cumulative survival probability here is up to each time interval is computed by multiplying. So this is how we get the cumulative survival probability. We do that by multiplying the survival probabilities of all prior intervals. So this is how we get this. So for step 8, we calculate the hazard rate. So the hazard rate represents the likelihood of the event occurring in a specific interval among those at risk. So that is for step 8. So for step 9 here, we're going to calculate the standard error of the hazard rate. So the standard error quantifies the variability in the hazard rate. So now let us go back and control enter all these codes so that we can finally get our table. So we stopped at step 4, so let's go back. We stopped at step 3, so let's begin from step 4. So we control enter this, control enter step 5, control enter step 6, control enter for step 7, control enter for step 8, control enter for step 9. So here we're going to print our live table. Okay, so let's print it and see what we have here. So for our live table here, we are having the time here, so our time interval from 1 to 10, and we're having at risk. At risk here indicates the number of individuals still under observation at the beginning of each time interval. All right, here for example, we're having, for 1, we're having 500 patients at risk here. Then we're having deaths here, this is the number of individuals who experienced the event. Censored here, this is the count of individuals who were censored, that is to say left the study without experiencing the event. So we have survival probability here. The survival probability here is the probability of surviving the specific interval for 1, 2, 3, and so on. So for 1 at a time, the probability here is 0.958. Okay, so we move to the next one, cumulative survival. For cumulative survival, this is the cumulative probability of surviving up to a given time interval. So if you look at time 2 here, we see that the cumulative survival here is 0.903. So the hazard rate represents, here we're having the hazard rate here represents the event likelihood in a specific time interval. For instance, the hazard rate at time 7 here is 0.14563107. All right, then finally we have the standard error. So the standard error here measures the variability of the hazard rate, providing a sense of uncertainty in its estimate. So this is how you run a live table in R. So in our next tutorial, we are going to be looking at how to run this same live table on Python. So stay tuned, and don't forget, if you find this video helpful, give a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comment section. Thank you.